Atlanta. Attorney and prominent conservative media figure Jenna Ellis pleaded guilty Tuesday to a felony charge for her efforts to overturn Donald Trump's 2020 election defeat in Georgia, tearfully telling the judge that she looks back on that period with deep regret. Ellis pleaded guilty to one count of aiding and abetting false statements and writings. He stood up to speak after pleading guilty, choking back tears as said would not represent Trump after the 2020 election if knew what knows now, claiming relied on lawyers with much more experience than him and could not corroborate the allegations. The things they said to him, what I didn't do, but should have done, Your Honor, was make sure that the facts that the other attorneys claimed were true were actually true. Ellis, 38, said. Ellis' guilty plea came just days after two other defendants, fellow attorneys Sidney Powell and Kenneth Chesebro, entered guilty pleas. That means three high-profile people responsible for pushing baseless legal challenges to Democrat Joe Biden's 2020 election victory have agreed to accept responsibility for their roles rather than take their chances in front of a jury. A lower-profile defendant pleaded guilty last month, responding to shouted question from reporter in the hallway New York City courthouse where civil lawsuit accusing him of inflating the value his assets. Trump said he knew nothing about Ellis' plea deal but called it very bad, and said he wasn't worried about it. We know nothing. We are innocent of everything. It is nothing but political persecution, he said. Steve Sadow, Trump's lead attorney in Georgia case, used Ellis' plea to cast doubt on the legitimacy of racketeering charges that Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis has filed against all 19 defendants. Fani Willis and the prosecution team dismissed the RICO charge in exchange for a fourth request for probation, he said. This shows that this so-called RICO case is nothing more than a bargaining chip for Prosecutor Willis. He also noted that Ellis pleaded guilty to a charge that was not included in the original indictment and did not involve Trump. Early pleas and positive sentencing may herald similar outcomes for other defendants who may view guilty pleas and cooperation as the best hope for leniency. Even so, value as witnesses against Trump is uncertain, given that their direct involvement in false intrigues would undoubtedly subject them to attacks on credibility and damaging cross-examinations should they testify. The indictment in sweeping case details a litany charges against Ellis. This includes that Ellis helped craft plans for how to disrupt and delay congressional certification of 2020 election results on Jan. 6, 2021. Day a mob Trump supporters eventually invaded election U.S. Capitol building. Ellis is also accused encouraging state lawmakers at hearing in Pennsylvania to illegally appoint a number of presidential electors loyal to Trump, and he later added